Today's meeting covered a wide range of topics, including ongoing discussions on transgender athletes and the continued hate and vitriol directed at players online. There are no immediate eligibility matters affecting the WNBA. Yes, there are. And we strongly denounce the bad faith efforts to use these topics to demean or marginalize others. In other words, we have no idea how to handle this.
Well, they say there's no matters at hand they have to deal with. There are.
Yes, too.
Okay, hold on. Notice what the league is doing here. They are trying to brush this off by calling it a bad faith debate. But according to a recent Gallup poll, 69% of Americans believe athletes should only play on teams that match their birth sex. That is not a fringe opinion. That is the vast majority of the country telling them they are wrong. They want you to think this is just a few angry people online. But wait until you see the trap they built for themselves.
Because with Enes Kanter and Royce White declaring their eligibility, right, I looked through the 409-page plea bargain, basically sort of constitution that the WNBA has. And it says that to be eligible, you have to be a, quote, woman. But in nowhere in all of that 409 pages does it define what a woman is. So ultimately, when they had a meeting yesterday, they should have just sat down and said, okay, item number one, what does the W in our name stand for?
There it is. Read those words again. The league wrote a 409-page rulebook that demands players be a woman, but they completely forgot to define the word. Now, two male former basketball stars are testing that loophole, and the executives have no idea what to do. Tell me I am wrong in the comments, but this looks like a complete institutional meltdown. They built a house of cards on woke ideology, and now it is collapsing on live television. And it gets even worse. Listen to this.
These former NBA players say they're going to join the Women's League. But why and how? Well, they're actually doing it in protest of the WNBA's rules, which say that all players must be women without defining women.
I'm transgender. I identify as sometimes identifying as a woman for purposes of...
This whole mess started because one of their own players actually told the truth. Sophie Cunningham spoke up and said she feels a need to protect young girls who should not have to compete against biological men. She pointed out the obvious, and the radical left absolutely lost their minds. Instead of standing behind their female athletes, the league chose to attack the people defending them. They are treating common sense like a crime. But the backlash is not stopping there. Look at how the media is spinning this.
Indiana Fever guard Sophie Cunningham is known for her moves on the court. But on the sidelines, it's her recent comments on transgender athletes causing controversy. In an article published earlier this month, Cunningham told ESPN, quote, "I want to protect young girls in the locker room or young girls in sport who shouldn't have to go."
The people are waking up. You can only ignore reality for so long before it comes knocking at your door. They wanted a league based on identity politics, and now they are dealing with the consequences. The American people stand with the female athletes who just want a fair game, not a political experiment. We will keep calling them out every single time they try to rewrite the rules of biology. If you want the truth on stories the media is hiding, click the video on your screen right now.